Hey folks, Liv here once again. Hope you enjoyed my epic rant, my review slash epic rant on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings on my channel right now if you want to check that out. Remember guys, my channel, Levi McNally 983. Sorry if I'm out of breath. Had a busy day. Here by myself on the weekend. Well, I live with my dad actually. But I've been off work this weekend. Went to Walmart today by myself for the first time in the morning. Yeah. I mean, I've been to Walmart with my dad pretty much a lot all the time. But I went by myself today. I did pretty good, did my own shopping. And I cut the lawn today. Had to take a shower afterwards because after you cut the lawn, I had to cut the front yard and back yard. Just stink. So yeah, if I sound out of breath, I'm sorry. Been a little tired, but I've had a good relaxing day. Yeah, a little bit of a busy day, so I'm sorry guys. But anyway, getting back to the reviews, guys. Remember my channel's living Levi McNally 983 with a bass profile picture on it. Now, technically, I've been on YouTube for technically 12 years, but this is my new channel. I lost my other account, so I made this new channel. Thank you guys for 271 subs. We're getting close to 300, folks. When I get to 400, well, about 500, excuse me, I'll be doing my first Q&A video on this channel. When I get to 500, but we're not there exactly yet. But trust me, folks, I have plenty more videos, reviews that I'm planning up ahead, okay? I got more videos coming. I'm not quitting YouTube, okay? I just want to let you guys know that. And remember to click the little bell when you subscribe to me. You'll be able to see my community posts of what next videos I'm going to do. And it'll notify you when I upload the next video, the next review. So, hey guys, I know my videos are long sometimes. If you have a watch later list, you can put it on there. It's fine. I do with certain people that I follow. I put their videos on my watch later list so I can just watch it later or anytime I want. Unless that person deletes the video, then I can't do nothing about it. But on their channel, I've deleted videos too on my other channel. It happens sometimes for reasons, or they could have been blocked or something like that, or just didn't like the video they did. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I've been doing a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel, and I've been doing what I call the 2020s era superhero reviews. Now, these are films, superhero movies that came out in this decade we're living in now, the 2020s, 2020 to 2025. So, like I said, I might not make it to 2029. We're going to be in there 4 years later that year. Um, yeah, I might not be able to make it there, but if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. And I'm just kidding, I'm just making a joke. But anyway, guys, this next review, like I said, I've been on the year 2021. I got about four more movies to go. This one movie today. Hopefully, I'm off tomorrow for work all day. Tomorrow, Saturday. If I had to do a review on Sunday, I'll do a review on Sunday. Depends on how I feel. But yeah. But like I said, I got my years and months. I'm starting with the year 2021. What? 2021. We're on the year 2021. Yeah. I reviewed Snyder's Justice League. I reviewed Black Widow. I mean, Justice League World War II, Black Widow, and like Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings recently. There was another Suicide Squad. Sorry. And now, since these two movies came out in October, this was October 1st. This is a sequel to the first film that came out 2018, starring Tom Hardy, and Woody Harrelson's in the sequel, along with Michelle Williams responding to her role from the first movie. And it is the second film in Sony's Spider-Man universe that is the sequel to Venom, and that is from 2018, starring Tom Hardy. That is Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which is actually directed by Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis, if you know him for like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Caesar from the Planet of the Apes remake trilogy, reboot trilogy, whatever. Or King Kong from 2005, Lumpy. That's the Andy Serkis I'm talking about, or from the Batman. Because the next year, this was 20, yeah, next year, the next year after 2022, he would go on to be, well, he played Alfred Pennyworth in that movie. But in here, he directs it. And honestly, I did not care for the sequel. It's going to be another rant. I did not care for this movie. The best thing about it, this film was short. It was 97 minutes long. It felt like it went by at a really good pace. That's the only thing I liked about this movie. And that, I didn't care for the sequel. It was another lame, dumb, watered down again, another peaches. This is what I hate about these Sony movies. You make these movies about these anti-heroes, these villains, and you make it PG-13. Yeah, it's cool to see Carnage on screen, but the CGI for him was just terrible. Anyway, I'm getting too ahead of myself, but we'll get into more of that in the review. But like I said, with these Sony movies, I just don't care. Making movies about villains, making it PG-13 just doesn't work. And plus, adding Carnage in here doesn't make any sense either because number one, he's a Spider-Man villain. He's got to be same thing with Venom and Carnage. You gotta have Spidey. You gotta have Spider-Man. I guess I should be wearing my Spider-Man shirt in this review, but oh well. But this ain't a Spider-Man. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm not gonna wear that shirt. This ain't a Spider-Man movie anyway, technically, because these films ain't got nothing to do with him. So this is their second movie. Then after this will be Morbius, Madam Web, Venom: The Last Dance, and hopefully the last one. I'm hoping Craven the Hunter. So yeah, there'll be more rants on those movies too, because I don't like any of these films. I don't really care. I don't think Madam Web is a villain, but I don't care about her as a character. And I heard that movie sucked. Yeah, that came out last year in 2024 on Valentine's Day. Yeah. Oh, and the last Venom movie has been The Last Dance, which also came in October. Came out in October. Craven the Hunter was December, so yeah. Anyway, getting into this film. The film did get multiple delays though, and due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I guess it was supposed to release in 2020, but COVID happened. They probably made this movie around that time, but COVID-19 happened, so the movie got delayed. Yeah. But it was successful. It's the seventh grossing highest film of 2021, which I don't get that. But for development of the film, during the long development of the 2018 Venom, the character Carnage was expected to appear as an antagonist in the sequel. During pre-production on that film, if you've seen the end of the first movie where, spoiler alert, when Nettie goes to see Cletus Cassidy, played by fucking Woody Harrison, sorry, and he's like, there will be carnage. So, hinting us that that this movie would happen in the sequel. So they could focus on introducing the protagonists, Eddie Brock and Venom. Director Ruben Fleischer felt that leaving Venom's most villain for a sequel would give the franchise a place to go. It would be a natural next step. So Carnage's alter ego, Cleese Cassidy, was introduced in a mid-press post scene at the end of the first film. He wanted to cast Woody Harrison in the role, feeling there was a natural connection between his character there and Harrison's performance in Natural Born Killers. I'm sure. I've never seen that movie, but I can definitely. Now I like Woody Harrison as an actor, but I didn't like him in this movie. I really watch. Yeah, I'll watch Natural Born Killers. I'm sure he's better than that. Out of the Furnace with Christian Bell, he was really good in that. In Zombieland, I liked him in Zombieland too, in a movie called We Are the Champions. Yeah. After meeting with Fletcher and Tom Hardy, though, who portrays Eddie Venom for dinner, Harrison agreed to take on the part. He described his decision as the role as the dice since he was unable to read the script for the sequel before signing on to the first film. In August 2018, ahead of Venom's release, Hardy confirmed that he had signed on for two sequels. At the end of November 2018, Sony gave an October 2nd, 2020 release date, titled Venom 2, which would be the place in the film release time frame in the first film. Box office between Venom have been successful enough to guarantee a sequel will be made. Venom writer Jeff Painter confirmed in December 2018 that a sequel was happening, but was not involved in writing it. He said that he could not discuss the sequel, but saw the first film as Eddie and Venom coming together. So there's a natural evolution for that too. Sequel work could happen. Like, okay, now we're like live together. It's like a bromance sort of relationship. In January, Kelly Markle signed a deal with Sony to produce the film after also working on the first film script. This marked the official beginning of work of the film for the studio. It was wrote alongside A.B. Avard, Matt Thomas, and Amy Fisher returning as producers. Hardy and Harrison also very return for the sequel, along with Michelle Williams in the role of Anne Wang, Eddie's ex-fiancee. Yeah. No directors confirmed though. Sony considered replacing Fleischer due to his commitments to Zombieland, Double Tap, though he still intended to be involved in Venom 2. By the end of July 2019, Sony hoped for filming to begin that November. Had met with several candidates to replace Fleischer as director, because he was still working on the sequel to Zombieland, which is I haven't seen it, Zombieland Double Tap. Directors the studios met with included Andy Serkis, Travis Knight. Serkis confirmed at the start of the August that he had discussed the project with Sony, potentially something that might happen. And then Andy Serkis was officially hired to direct the film early in August 2019, partially due to his experience working with the CGI and motion capture as both an actor as a director. Centered his hiring, Serkis said Hardy had been working closely with Marvel on the screenplay, which was centered because Tom Hardy also wrote the script for this movie too, for this sequel. That Marvel explained that she and Hardy spent months developing ideas for the film. First film, he received a story credit on the project. She then spent 3 months writing the screenplay herself. Fleischer said that he was happy to let circus to take over the franchise, following the negative critical reaction for the first film received. Believing reviews unfortunately treated the crowd-pleasing movie, potentially due to bias against Sony and towards Marvel Studios. No, it wasn't that, because that movie sucked. That's why people didn't like it. Yeah, yeah. It sucked. That's why people don't like it. And no, I'm not biased. Hmm. I'm just a very opinionated person about it, I guess you'd say. September 2019, Reed Scott was expected to be spared his role as Ant's boyfriend. He does come back. The character Shriek was also expected to appear as the film's secondary villain, and love interest for Carnage. Many different actors were looked at, but Naomi Harris was cast the role in mid-October. Stephen Graham joined the film as Detective McCullen. I thought he was Mark Wahlberg's brother, but I guess I'm wrong. Okay, sorry. By the end of the year, though, Thomas said there was a chance the sequel could be rated R, following the success of the rated R Joker, and Deadpool 2, but of course it doesn't happen. Although Joker was a hit that year, these idiot fucking Sony probably just said, no, let's keep it PG-13. I don't know why. But of course they wanted to keep it PG-13. Yeah. Though Joker 2019, which is a great movie, by the way, that made billions of dollars at the box office instead of Deadpool and Logan. Well, they didn't make it, but they were money. But, however, they cautioned that the PG-13 rating the first film had led to box office success, and that would not be looking to change the franchise's tone, simply because they have worked for others. See what only received a PG-13 rating. You know what, Thomas, you're an idiot. Caution that the PG-13 rating. First of all, that film was not successful because it was a PG-13, idiot. It was successful because fans wanted a good Venom movie. Yeah. And it should have been rated R in the first place. So this proves here that you're a moron. Yeah. He said the biggest lesson learned from the first one, the fans love the relationship between Eddie and Venom, and the sequel was focused more on the two characters together because of this. I didn't like the relationship between them. Circus described the relationship as a central love affair on the film. Yeah. They used imaginary of the LGBT Q&A festivals because the sequels intended to be Venom's coming out party. Uh, so the film began November 15th, 2019, at Lotus Studios in England. Robert Richardson served as the cinematographer for the film. I can't freaking talk. He reunited circus that worked after they worked together on Breathe. Some of the movie was filmed in San Francisco. Location film continued in that city for several weeks, like in North Beach, Nob Hill, Puerto Hill. Some filming in San Francisco was impacted by the production of Matrix Resurrections. Sorry. And some reshoots took place at Pinewood Studios. Yeah, you can definitely tell that this movie did have some reshoots. The film did have post production though. They were forced to shut down due to COVID-19. Like I said, they filmed this movie in 2019. I guess it took a while because of the reshoots and stuff. And with Matrix Resurrection, yeah, and COVID-19 happened. Circus began work editing on the film in London, the department. They had to be shut down. The film's editor returned to the United States and began working with Circus remotely to finish editing the film. The original cut for the film was around 10 to 15 minutes longer. Circus wanted the film to be shorter, then expected to make it a real thrill ride. Trying to get Carnage introduction with a little explosion as possible. They confirmed in April that the film was scheduled to be released on October 2nd, 2020, to keep that release date. Later that month, the studio moved the film to release June 20th, 2021, but then more COVID-19 delays happened, because we all know what happened in 2020. Then they announced the film started Venom's Let There Be Carnage, or Venom Let the Love Will Tell Us Apart. Circus felt the delay in the release would give more time to improve the film's visual effects, but help ensure the audience members would be comfortable with going to see the film in theaters. The director was excited to adapt the comic version of Carnage for the screen. The same was designed to reflect their hopes, so he differentiated Venom and Carnage by reflecting Eddie and Cletus, the designs and abilities and movements. He worked with dancers and actors on motion capture stage to help divine the moments of two characters. Venom to be like a quarterback who used brutal force. Carnage, Cletus' psychotic personality, shown through all guilt and moments. The film's most quoted scene was directed by Spider-Man No Way Home, John Watts. The film's release was moved back again to September 17, 2021. Sony reportedly considered delaying the film to Morbius for release date of January 21st, 2022, but they officially Sunday movie, the film's release date, 2 weeks to October 1st, 2021. I don't remember much marketing from the movie. Yeah, I just remember the trailer for it. And I didn't bother seeing this film in theaters because I hated seeing the first movie in theaters. I didn't care for it, so yeah. But for the cast movie of Tom Hardy coming back as Eddie Brock Venom, an investigative journalist who is the host of an alien symbiote Venom that embodies him with superhuman abilities. Tom Hardy, I don't like the. I liked him in Star Trek Nemesis. That's about it. And Inception. I hated him in The Dark Knight Rises. I thought he sucked in that. I don't think. I've never seen the Mad Max films, but I'd rather just watch the ones with Mel Gibson. Even that one with Tina Turner that I heard was not good. Yeah, and I don't like him in as Bane in Dark Knight Rises. Just not a fan. I love the character of Venom. You know, in the comics, I do. But they ruined Venom here. Yeah, I liked him in Marvel Spider-Man 2, which is a sequel to the 2018 game that was on PlayStation 4, probably PS5 too. And Spider-Man Miles Morales. Well, Venom is not in those, but he's in Marvel Spider-Man 2. They were great with Venom in that movie. Venom was the complete villain in that, and it had a good story too. Same thing with I loved him in Spider-Man the anime series. Michelle Williams is in Wing, a defense attorney and his ex-fiance. I think her first movie was Species. Yeah, this film does remind me of Species. She was in Oscar Great and Powerful. I haven't seen Shutter Island yet. I haven't, but I think she did that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And also, Halloween H2O, 20 years later. Something like that. Yeah, she was in Halloween, that Halloween movie. A very beautiful actress as well. Yes, I think. She's okay in here. Yeah. I think her first movie role was in Species, which was, I think this year's going to be like, or maybe ours has turned 30, but, it's going to be a 30-year-old movie now, this year. Uh, Naomi Harris as Frances Barton, Shriek. She's Cletus's lover who can create sonic screams. Oh, she's an enemy of Spider-Man. She's an enemy of Spider-Man and the lover of Cletus Cassidy. She's something more scary in the comics. She's a villain too. Naomi Harris, let's see. Oh, I remember her in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. As Tia Dama. I thought she was good in that. Wait a minute. Is this. Oh, okay. She was in Skyfall and Spectre No Time to Die as Miss Moneypenny. Honestly, I think she's better than those films, in my opinion. Stephen Graham as Patrick McGowan. Ed Tedder, whom to use Ed to find the brains of the police's victims. Okay, he's a villain. I guess also a villain. Or superhero. Uh, Toxin. An offspring of Carnage. They do kind of show that at the end of the film. Stephen Graham, let's see. Oh, he was in Pirates of the Caribbean, Stranger Tides, and Damage. Okay, I think I remember him in that. I think he's the guy that tries to kiss the mermaid in that movie. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen, Mermaids, Pirates of the Caribbean, Stranger Tides. Have mermaids in it, if you've seen the film. Yeah, he was funny in that movie. Like, I think I'm in love. He was a lot funnier than he is in here. Woody Harrelson as Cleese Cassidy Carnage. He's a psychotic serial killer who becomes the host of Venom's Spawn, Carnage. And I like Carnage, the character. I liked him in Spider-Man anime series. He looked very awesome in that. I don't care that Cleese Cassidy has love interest in the comics. I don't give a crap about that. To me, the character, he's just a complete psychopath, a monster, and so is Carnage, and they're both a perfect host for each other. Are the Amazing Spider-Man 2, the video game, based off that movie from 2014. But Woody Harrelson, he was like in the TV show Cheers. He was in movies like White Man Can't Jump, Natural Born Killers. I think I really give that movie a chance. 7 Pounds. I remember him in that Zombieland movies. The Age of 17. I want to see that movie. And War for Planet of the Apes. So he's worked with Andy Serkis before. Yeah, because Andy Serkis plays Caesar in those movies. Despite that movie being a lot long, I'd rather watch War for Planet of the Apes over this. I even think the CGI is a lot better. Not completely, but you know. But Cleese Cassidy's like a psychopath. He's a menace to both Venom and Spider-Man. Yeah. They could, you know. This is why I hate this film being PG-13. You could do a lot more with it. Peggy Lou does come back as Mrs. Chen. Salem Wilbur portrays Ravencroft Dr. Kilma Hazel. Tom Holland, there's footage of him and J. Jonah Jameson. J.K. Simmons, just footage of them, basically, in a post-credit scene. The film was directed by Andy Serkis. I'm trying to see what other movies he's directed. Like I said, he was in Lord of the Rings movies as Gollum. Yeah, it's 13 going on 30 with Jennifer Gardner. I remember him in that. Rise of the Planet of the Apes movies. He voiced Supreme Leader Nuke in Star Wars The Force Awakens, played the character again Last Jedi. Black Panther, he played Usalis Claw. He was real good in that. And as director, though, he directed Breathe. Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, I didn't care for. And he's going to be directing a new Lord of the Rings movie, Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. I never seen Breathe. Never seen it. And I met Andy Serkis. He's a real nice guy. Yeah, I met him somewhere. I have it. Well, probably upstairs. And upstairs, I have it in my house somewhere. But I got an autograph from here from him. I think it was from last year, 2024. Yeah, 2024 February. Yeah, where I got his autograph last year and met him in person. So he's a real nice guy. Yeah. Screenplays by Kelly Marble and also Tom Hardy, who wrote the story with her. She wrote movies like Save Mr. Banks, 50 Shades of Grey, of course. Cruella remake, Venom Let There Be Carnage, and then Venom Let There Be Dance. Yeah, but 50 Shades of Grey, really. Okay, see that movie. Produced by A.B. Avard, who has been producing these Marvel movies. I know he's been producing these Marvel movies since the first Blade movie. And even after Venom, let's see. This sequel, I mean. Let There Be Carnage. He went on to produce Spider-Man No Way Home as a producer on Uncharted, the movie based on the game Borderlands, Kraven the Hunter, and he's going to be producing Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is coming out. He said to be released in 2027. So, and he's working on some of the original. But yeah, he has a bit of an ego. I think he just loves to sell the toys. Yeah, Matt Tomlish. Let's see. Produced a movie like Money for Nothing, the first Amazing Spider-Man film, and the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji Next Level, Morbius, and Kraven the Hunter. And is executive producer on Spider-Man: Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, which came out the same year as this. Better film than this. It's not perfect, but I could watch it. Cinematography is by Robert Richardson. Like he did cinematography for films like Platoon, Dudes, Wall Street, Eight Man Out, Born on the Fourth of July, JFK, A Few Good Men, Natural Born Killers, Casino, The Avatar, Shutter Island, Deep Ray Love, World War Z, Air from 2023, edited by Martin Brandon, who edited Bingo, The Birds Two Lands In, Born to Be Wild, Mission Impossible 3, Star Trek 2009, the reboot, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, and Venom. Will have to be cornered this movie, yeah. Music's by Marco Pozzolento. Video score for Terminator 3: Rise of Machines, Live Fear Die Hard, World War Z, Jonah Hex, 310 to Yuma. Uh, and he did music scores for two other superhero movies. That was Hellboy. I'm trying to see which Hellboy movie. Oh, okay, from 2004, and The Wolverine, and Logan. Other superhero movies as well, comic book films. Production companies yeah. At least Logan was rated R and had a better story than this. Production company is Columbia Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, Outward Productions, Matt Thomas Productions, Pastoral Pictures. Distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. It was released October 1st, 2021. The film is 97 minutes long, about 1 hour and 37 minutes long. Believe it or not, it feels like it's 1 hour and 20 something minutes long to me. Yeah. The budget to make the movie is $110 million. The box office made $506.8 million worldwide. The film, like I said, did get mixed reviews from critics. Richard Roebuck gave it a mixed review, giving the score 2 4 stars. He described it as mildly better than the original. Yeah. It was nominated for some awards, but I'm glad it didn't win anything. It didn't deserve it. But Kelly Markle, she wrote this movie in the first movie, but she goes on to direct, so I guess they didn't want any Circus back. Or maybe Circus was just busy. Well, he could have been busy doing another movie. Or preparing for that Lord of the Rings movie he's planning to come out with. He could be busy doing that or with other things. You know. But anyway. So the story of the movie, like I said, there will be spoilers in this review, but before I warn you guys of that, I'll just go ahead and describe the plot synopsis. So this time set around with Venom Let There Be Carnage stories that is this time Eddie Brock. He's struggling to coexist with Venom. Venom wants to bite off heads and he's trying to tell him no. They argue quite a bit. And then he gets an interview. He gets requested by serial killer Cletus Cassidy, who's a psychopath, a serial killer who wants to talk to him, and he's got to deal with that. And of course, he becomes Cletus has a girlfriend from his past Shriek, who he's trying to break out of prison. Yeah, she's got a hurt eye there. Apparently, a cop shot her in the eye. But he gets to host with an alien symbiote, who's like a monster like him. That is Carnage. So Brock and Venom must put aside their differences to stop Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, the rancher, as Carnage is going to kill a lot of people, and as like Cletus says, there will be carnage. By doing that, he's going to murder, cause chaos, and along with Shriek, he's going to kill a lot of people, kidnaps Anne, his ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, his ex. So Eddie Brock and Venom must put their differences aside, and they must go up against Carnage, even though it's going to be a hard fight because Carnage is a bit of a stronger enemy, a stronger symbiote than Venom, so it's a hard fight. So they have to start Carnage. So they must have to defeat him and stop this psychopath once and for all, and bring him and take him down before he causes any more carnage. Yeah, I do like Carnage as a character, but again, like with the first Venom movie, they screw the character up. Yeah, I hate that this movie's PG-13 because Carnage, Cletus Cassidy is a serial killer. He's a villain. He's a psychopath. But we can't have Lane Warren there. No, I could say it's probably Sony's idea, or because one guy said no, it needs to be, because one of the producers, Matt Thomas, says no, it's got to be PG-13, because that's how audiences liked it before. I'm like, yeah, it might have made money, but you weren't as big as a hit as Deadpool and Wolverine. And guess what? That was rated R. If you would have made it rated R, more audiences would have seen it, and you given it a better story, it would have worked. But no, Sony, they're a bunch of freaking idiots. They need to take this. I'm glad they're stopping with these movies. I'm thankful. I'm glad that Kraven the Hunter flopped. Fortunately, I think these films stopped making money. I think people got tired of them, and because Sony just screws it up. You know. Yeah. We can say Kraven the Hunter is rated R, but yeah, Kraven the Hunter still sucked. I'm not saying the film has to be rated R to be good. You have to have a good story. And this film, it was a lame sequel. I just didn't care for this movie. But anyway, there will be spoilers in this review. I'm going to talk about the movie, give my final thoughts. But before I do, if you've never seen Venom: Let There Be Carnage, or if you haven't seen the first film, the first movie which I reviewed on this channel as well, do not check out this review. And this will also be part of my Spider-Man reviews too, since Spider-Man. I mean, since Fudge, since Eddie Brock, Cleese Cassidy, Venom, and Carnage are Spider-Man characters. So yes, it does add to that. But yeah, Venom: Let There Be Carnage. So if you've never seen this movie, there will be spoilers in this review. So please turn the review off right now. If you ever watch the movie, come back someday to see this review. Like I said, just put it on your watch. Just put this video on your watch later list before you ever see this movie. I don't care if it takes you a couple years to see the first or second movie, or if you have no plans to see it at all. Okay, but I'm just warning you. There's spoilers in the review. Yeah. All right, anyway, we'll talk about the movie itself. And again, the movie's only 97 minutes long. That's one thing that's short about it. I mean, at least I give Andy Serkis that. You know, I don't think he was the best choice director. Don't get me wrong. I love him as Caesar. He's great. I've never seen Lord of the Rings, but I'm sure he's great as Gollum. He's good as King Kong, and he's good as Lumpy in King Kong 2005 film, created by Peter Jackson. He's a great actor. I liked him as Alfred. He's a real good actor. And I met him too, and I liked him as Claw. You saw his Claw in Black Panther in 2018. He was real great in that. Yeah, yeah, he's a great actor. But for this film, he wasn't the best choice for director, in my opinion. I feel like he didn't really have enough freedom control, though. I do feel like he could give us a good rated R movie if the studio allowed that. And the producer didn't run his mouth about being PG-13. But anyway, let's get into the movie stuff. I'm sorry. I'm blabbing on. So anyway, the film opens up in 1996. Cletus Cassidy, as he watches his girlfriend, Frances Barrison, Frances, who she has the ability of sound manipulation. So she's kind of like Black Canary. When Shriek can do this, yo, like it hurts your ears. They're saying, I love you. I didn't care about Shriek and Cletus's relationship. I don't care that, oh, they're in love in the comics. I don't care. Is she a love interest of Cassidy or I guess from the comics? I don't care. I just didn't care about that. So she gets arrested. She gets taken away from a place called Sadis's, Homeward for Unwanted Children, to the Raven Cross Institute, which we've probably seen the Raven Cross Institute in Amazing Spider-Man 2. But she's taken away. You find out that, spoiler alert, Detective Mulling, who you see later, she screams in his ear. He like shoots her, thinks that he's dead, but no. But he did manage to shoot her in the eye there pretty good. And you see that injury in her eye, that scar, because she was shot. But this was Mulligan before he became a detective. He was just a young police officer, probably starting out his career. But she gets taken to the facility, and she's just told to read about her powers and stuff. She lets this one kid, you know, scares him. Then you open in the present day, you see Eddie Brock just riding his bike. He's trying to motorcycle. Him and Venom still talk. Venom's like, I want to eat some people, not eat heads. He talks to the Mulligan, they argue. It's like he's about to eat Mulligan's head, but he grabs Venom's like, and he takes his lady's back, and arguing his lady's listening. She's like, and he's talking to himself. Eddie is just, oh, yes, talking to myself. Yes, so cool talking to himself. And people think he's just freaking nuts. Yeah. So, because he's over there coming to the jail prison because Cleese Cassidy starts like, Eddie Brock, you're a friend of mine, Eddie. I like you. I want you to tell my story. I'll tell you about where the bodies are that I killed, that I murdered, and you'll get your story. So, because Eddie had his own TV show, but after in the first movie, he screwed up his career in his relationship. He got fired, so he's trying to get back on top. Again, he's an investigative reporter. And then, as they leave, Venom says, Eddie, look over there. Eddie looks, sees these pictures on the wall that Cletus has written, scrabble, but that it could be like to investigate. So pretty much, yeah. Since Venom, by the way, figures out these pictures on the wall, he's like, "Give me your hands." Gives him his pen. He's like, "No, you idiot!" And yeah, he calls Brock. Apparently, Brock is an idiot in these films because he's not smart. Eddie Brock seems to be a smart guy in the comics and the stories, but not in here. So it's Venom who finds out. He finds out where the location is at, tells him about it, and it gives him a huge career boost. But for Cassidy, he's going to be sent to the electric chair. Well, not electric chair. Well, lethal injection. They're going to shoot the blood through his body and kill him, basically. Give him his death sentence finally. And this makes him mad enough to do that. Pisses him off as he punches the wall. When his girlfriend finds out about it, she just screeches, yells in her cell. But they keep her locked and tight, and they're pretty good in Ravencroft. but he definitely wants to see her again. Yeah. Then he gets contacted by his ex-fiancee and Wing. But like I said, this makes Eddie look stupid. Like he can't figure it out on his own. And I can't stand Tom Hardy's voice. He's just annoying as well. So, and, invites Eddie to talk to her to this restaurant. Tells her that, this wedding ring that Dr. Dan, her boyfriend from the first movie, asked her to marry him. She said yes. But Dan's good for me. He can provide for me and all this stuff. And even though Eddie's deep down upset, it's like, congratulations. And it seems like he, riding his bike, motorcycle, he almost wants to kill himself. Like, Venom's like, no, don't do it. It will get through this, buddy. Then he makes him breakfast in the beginning, and yeah, Venom is horrible at making breakfast, does it too fast. You know, smashes ketchup in Brock's face, Eddie's face. Instead of Mulligan don't like him, he's like, Eddie finds he's out. He knows about him from the first movie. One of his ideas is that he has no idea that he's Venom. But he has to keep Venom a secret because they can go to Area 51 or be chased and killed down if they're discovered. Even when, and Venom is hungry, he wants to bite heads off. He's just watching TV. He's like, no. He's like, we can't eat people. Venom. He only will give Venom chicken. He's like, they have these. Eddie just has these two chickens in his apartment, which I don't think people can keep chickens in their apartment, can they? But maybe they can. Usually people keep them in a pen. But he's like, that's Sonny and Shao. No, they're not food. They're friends. So we get a stupid scene of fucking Venom just going to eat chickens off screen. By the way, he's like, that was not tasty. You see a guy robbing a lady seems to have so she punches, she knocks the guy out. Why does she need Venom's out? She's like punches the guy trying to steal her purse. Venom grabs him. It's about to bite him. We don't see it because this film is PG-13. We can't have Venom kill. Yeah, we can't have it do it bloodily either. No blood and gore shown in this movie. But if you do see heads getting bitten off by either Venom or Carnage in this movie, it's PG-13. Yeah, yeah, because they water it down because it'll make more money. Yeah, no, producer Matt Thomas, you're a freaking idiot. Joker made money because it had a good story, and of course it had to be rated R. It makes sense when you're making a movie about an anti-hero, and Venom can be a villain as well. So kind of makes sense, to make him a rated R character because Venom does kill, and this movie pussifies him, turns him into a joke. Excuse my language there, but they do. Yeah, and then as him and Venom are just flying around on top of the sky. I mean, well, top of the buildings, just Venom crawling. Eventually, he gets a call from. That's when he got a call from Anne, by the way. So Cassidy, as he's eating breakfast that next day after all this with his girlfriend and Venom eating chickens and wanting to buy a guy set up didn't work, and after meeting with Anne that night, he gets a note, and we see this crappy looking animation that he killed his daddy and his mom and his grandmother. He was abused as a child, and that's his excuse for being a serial killer. Like I get it, Cletus Cassidy had a messed up childhood. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but that's still no excuse to be a serial killer. You know, you could have just told a grown up about what was happening or shown them the scars you had. They would have pulled your ass out of there, put you in foster care, I'm sure. Yeah. So anybody said it seems since you were responsible for putting me in here and ending my life. So Eddie goes there, says, I'm gonna record a conversation. They talk. He's like 2 feet away from the prisoner. He's like, Eddie, me and you are just alike. You have daddy issues too. You're a loser. You lose your girlfriend. You did all this. And this makes him mad enough for Venom just like, that's it. Venom grabs him enough. And Cletus like bites him. He's like, wait, that is not just regular human blood. I've tasted human blood. Eddie Brock, you are not normal. You are not normal. He's like, he tastes the blood. It's like, He's this little red Carnage, this red spirit, and he's like, puts it in his mouth. Yeah. So, I don't know how. So, I guess since he's the spawn of Venom, Carnage is in him, but Carnage is not his own thing. Carnage couldn't come down from. I mean, I'm assuming Carnage comes from space too, from symbiotes too. So he has to be inside of Venom. I don't know. I'm confused. I just saw it differently in Spider-Man animated series. You know, where like Venom, he could Carnage could go to host till he gets Eddie Brock. I mean, Cletus Cassidy, but no, they just had him because he just from fighting him. That's how he becomes Cletus. Like, okay. Then on the night of his execution, though, well, before that, Eddie and Venom have an argument. He's like, "You're a loser. You're nothing." And then he's like, "Well, you're just a freak. You're just this." And they're just blabbering on, and this dialogue is just very annoying. And they're just screaming and bouching like a grown man match. Yeah, half the time I'm thinking, are Eddie and Venom gonna make love or something? Breaking down to doing some romance like this? And I'm just kidding. But they get mad. Venom headbutts him because Venom can like be on his side right here. Venom gets out of him, destroys his bike. He's like, "You're an asshole," you know. He's like, "Goodbye then," you know. Meanwhile, Cletus Cassie, he's like, "Put death into his part" or something like that. So he just says something, but he has a seizure almost. But Carnage comes out. He turns into Carnage. Carnage escapes prison, and I don't like the CGI. When he's killing people, yeah, he gets his tongue out. He says, "I have children," but then Carnage puts his tongue into the guy's mouth, kills him. Okay, well, please shoot him. I mean, Carnage, as you can see, has parts of this body that like it's like spikes coming out of his body. It's like swords coming out of his body. But when he kills somebody, it's PG-13, and he creates like a tornado and kills the warden. But it's all PG-13. Carnage. Carnage is a villain, a serial killer. Just like Cassidy. That's why they bond. But we don't get no blood and gore. So as Carnage, he uses does his twister like a tornado, literally, and busts out of there like, "Well, goodbye, y'all kiss my ass, you prisoners, yeah." And this is where he becomes really over the top. So he just gets some nice clothes, kills a guy, finds out where his girlfriend's like. He walks into this store, not in this store, um, fudge sakes, not into the store, but this gas station's like, "Can I help you, dude?" And he starts kicking the guy, kills like, "Yeah, you can help me." And he's like, "There's my girlfriend," locates her, steals the guy's car, he's like, "Yippee." He's like, "So Carnage, you are real." He's like, "Yeah, I'm real. Make a deal. You save my girlfriend, you'll get Venom. Deal? Deal." Yeah, I'll be Carnage. Yeah. Well, their deal was that Carnage is going to help Cassie break Freaky out of prison, and Cassie will help him eliminate Brock and Venom. Although I'm sure it's the reason he wants to kill Eddie Brock too. Although it was technically Venom, not Eddie. Yeah. Because Eddie was too much of a dumbass to figure it out in the first place. Venom had to help him do his job for him. I'm like, you know, yeah. Mulligan, eventually comes to Eddie's apartment, warns him that they broke out. Well, he watches on TV, warns him about it. Eddie does clean up his apartment afterwards. Even gets a new TV that Venom destroys. He gets into the people, but these other people are strong. You have a really stupid scene where you can say it's LGBT party going on, Halloween party going on, where we see Venom dancing. Yeah, and you can see those little lines of parties on him. And this is stupid. Venom's just walking around. I guess you said these people are drunk and high. I don't know if you know that they think it's a costume. That Venom is a symbiote, but he's not finding the right host because every time he finds a host, like throw up because they can't handle Venom being in their body. And he's like, "I've been free for a long time." Just comes up front and says, "I've been free for a long time. Eddie didn't let me be free." Does that stupid speech, dancing a little bit. I thought this scene was stupid. I want to see him killing criminals, and I want to see some blood and gore there with Venom. But no, we just have bad comedy written in here. Just make the make it more of a joke. The alien should be treated better and applause. I'm like, yeah, okay. Didn't care about Venom's speech. I thought that was dumb. Yeah. Mulligan Eddie gets arrested by him because he thinks he might have killed some of these people too, that he's been murdering some people as well. Eddie refuses to answer it. He contacts on his ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, I mean, sorry, his ex. Tells her that Venom is out, that Venom is gone, so she goes to Venom, talk to who is in the body of Mrs. Chen, and she's like, "You're sexy." Okay, I mean, I'll kind of, Michelle Williams is a very beautiful woman, and when she starts talking sexy to him, like, "You're a big guy in that," she's like, "I am." Yeah, and you're a put. You call Dana pussy, which I thought was funny. Well, okay, that turned me on when she was talking to convincing Venom. I'm like, oh, that woman could convince me to do anything. No, I'm just kidding. So eventually she comes back. You see she Venom again, just for those quick 5 seconds. Takes him out of prison, and he refuses. Michelle, I mean, well, he's in still the body of Anne, and she's talking to him like, he apologizes. No, 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 no. I was like, sorry, I'm sorry, and yelling, just screaming and on being over the top. Yeah. Well, he breaks Shriek out because his girlfriend, not his girlfriend, but the lady's like, "Where's your boyfriend now? Cops are gonna get him." But that doesn't work, as Clee's like, "I'm right here," and then chokes lady out, and they break out, starting as they're driving that cool car. Well, she is. Shriek is. Shriek does this yell because using his abilities for like his stretching powers or whatever. Well, she just scream, and Carnage gets mad. Carnage's like, "Just like get off on a fire girl." And I like the voice of Carnage here, I'm not gonna lie. But they break it out of Joe, and his plan is they're gonna throw a party, have a wedding. So they kidnap Anne. You know, Shriek doesn't kill Dan, he just says him send a message to Eddie. And he calls Eddie about it. Who's Venom is back in his body. And also they kidnap the Demon because Shriek wants to kill him in revenge. They blow up a place as well, blow up their intention. The place that there were children at. Carnage is also convertible. Remember, like Venom, who can't take the vibrations. So Shriek does that to him. He wants to kill her for it. He's like, but it does cause a conflict between the two of them. So they decide to get married. She's wearing a black dress, and they got gifts. They Shriek kidnaps Anne as a gift. Gets takes to Ted Mullen. They get the preacher, father, to marry them. But Eddie shows up. Is like, duh. He's like, he pops up as Venom, and you know, then Cassie pops up as Carnage. But it doesn't work because Venom wimps out because he's scared. First of all, whenever I saw Spider-Man the animated series, Venom showed no fear at all of Carnage, but he does in this movie. Just we won't fight him. I'm going out the door. Bye bye. They're dead. Then they finally have a fight, and the fight between them is a terrible CGI fight, very forgettable. If you think these two are gonna have a big epic fight, I've seen it better done in the Incredible Hulk from 2008 with the Hulk and Abomination. That was a better fight. Yeah, seen better fight scenes than this, and you can see a couple times where they go back as their normal selves, as their host, as you see Cletus Cassidy and Eddie Brock, and Cletus Cassidy like nearly strangles him like, and I was a poor daddy's boy, that's why I became a serial killer, and just blabbing on. And Shriek does her yell a bit, but it pisses off Carnage to grab her, just knocks her out. Reddit almost kill her. He's like, no, don't kill her, no. You know. But he knocks out Venom. Venom is like a wimp. Every time he stabs him, oh, oh, oh. Yeah. He only says they can fight because he wants to eat them. Okay. And Tree goes up to the Mulligan, like hangs him on a chain. You presume that he's dead, but not really. So because the rest of everything starts to look messy, Carnage wants to kill Anne, which Shriek says is too far. I'm like, too far? You want to kill the detective? You talking about you want to kill the cop? You saying that's going too far? Eventually, Venom wins the fight. I forget how. Oh, because Shriek does her loud yell, you know, and she gets a bell, a CGI, the bell that's CGI. She doesn't get saved by the bell. She gets crushed by the bell. He dies. Carnage gets out of Cleese's body. Cleese is like, and Venom grabs him. Venom, he takes him, eats him. But then when everything settles, though, well, he go, he's like, he grabs him as he's, coming up at him as Venom. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry, Cleese, but we couldn't be friends. You're just too crazy. You're a monster. And then I did like it when Venom said, fuck this guy, and just bites his head off. But in the lane PG-13 way, and Cletus dies, and the cops come after them. I guess they know that he's Venom now, I guess. But they have to go into hide and do the jailbreak out, so they have to go on the run. But then Mulligan's shown to be alive with his eyes glowing blue, whispers the word monsters, announcing that character I mentioned earlier, which we never really see. Then the film ends with Venom and Eddie talking about the chickens and describing the ride together. So they go to like the Caribbean or whatever, an island just to go on the run. And that's when you get Venom the Last Dance because they're on the run. Because I guess you say what the government has maybe figured out about them. You know. But then you final credit scene that starts with them going chilling on the beach. They watch a TV show. Then they get sent to another universe. Is another somebody else's bed, somebody else's hotel room. They see the TV. They see Jake Jonah Jameson. Just footage. And of Tom Holland as Spider Man. And J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. He says, I know that guy and likes him. How do you know that guy, Venom? I guess you could say, is this leading up to him being Spider Man No Way Home? No, that doesn't happen. What was the point of this stupid post credit scene? Spider Man has nothing to do with these movies. We don't see Peter Parker at all. Eddie Brock doesn't even know Peter Parker because I'm sure in the comics and even Spider-Man 3, as shitty as that is, at least he knew Parker because they both retired when they worked at the Daily Bugle. There is no connection between, yeah, Spider-Man, because Peter has not put on the symbiote suit, not in this Tom Holland version, just in Spider-Man 3 only, but not in this version. And the comics he does, that's how Venom knows about him, and Eddie knows Peter. And when him and Brock converse, they know that Peter Parker and Spidey's one of the same. So it makes no sense. But we do see him respire the role of Spider-Man No Way Home by getting sent back to this universe. So what was the point of sending him to this universe in the post-credit scene and then sending him back in fucking Spider-Man No Way Home? What was the point? Oh well, we gotta remind us that Venom is a Spider-Man character, so we gotta add that scene in because we're retarded. You know, we just have to add it in and tell people he's a Spider-Man character. We know that you piss ass and he's a Sony Sony cocksuckers. We know that. Excuse my language. They piss me off what they do with these movies. Yeah, it's called a rant. I'm ranting mainly about that. Then this bystander, this fat guy comes up. What are you doing in my room, dude? I'm like, that was weird. And then the movie ends there again. And that's Venom with the Big Corners. At least the best thing about this film is short. For me, I felt like time was going by really slow while watching this movie. Yeah. So anyway, to get to this crappy sequel, let me give my thoughts on that. Yeah, you might as well just call this another epic rant because this film sucked, in my opinion. I didn't care for the sequel. This sequel was just another lame sequel. It's just not good. I don't hate it as much as the first one, but I think it just sucks as much as the first one. First of all, the story's not good. Yeah, okay. First of all, my problem is the film being PG-13 doesn't work. The movie should have been rated R. Again, these idiot filmmakers, the dumbasses that wrote this movie, that made this movie, and I'm sorry to call Andy Serkis that. I'm sorry, Andy Serkis, but no offense to you, you're a great guy to meet. I mean, I love him as Caesar. He's a great actor, great at motion capture. But directing this movie, you were not the right choice. And Curly Marco does even worse in the third movie. But these films should have not been PG-13. They use Carnage. Carnage you don't see until the second act of the movie. And when you do see him, it's just a lame fight that's forced at the end. Yeah. Uh, Andy Serkis was not the right guy for the job. You know, I do like that he wanted to film the film to be edited out. Okay, I would like, yeah, I like a superhero film that's under 90, that not 90 minutes, 97 minutes. Okay, fine, but give me a good story, and it should have been rated R. I wanted to see some blood and gore there. I want to see Venom biting some people's heads off. This film clearly holds back. These movies they hold back. Apparently, they didn't watch Joker. Oh, because the film was successful. People will still see it regardless, Matt Tomlin. People will see the movie regardless if it's PG-13 or rated R. Give us a good trailer and a red band trailer to show how much a rated R is, and hell, I'll go see it. But people know if they know that Venom is an anti-hero, a villain in the comics, if they know that about the character, especially Carnage, they know Carnage is a villain. Spider-Man fans that I never read a comic book, but I do know he's a villain, a Spidey villain. People know this. And if you would have made it rated R, we'd be like, yeah, let's see it. But still, it makes no sense to add these characters in this movie without Spidey. It makes no sense to have Cletus Cassidy in this movie either. Because you need to have him there be with Peter Parker. He's got to have some involvement with Spidey. It makes more sense. You know? And the direction, I'm sorry, was bad, Andy Serkis. I'm sorry. Yeah. You just didn't know, you didn't know what you were doing. You should have fought more hard to make the film rated R. Knowing that the fans probably really wanted that. We do. I do. And the screenplay by Kelly Margaret, she does a terrible job. Honestly, the woman that wrote 50 Shades of Grey, like I said, yeah. The best movie I think she wrote was probably Save Mr. Banks. I haven't seen Cruella. Probably won't even like that movie. But 50 Shades of Grey, you gotta get the writer from that to write these movies? Stupid. She can't write. Tom Hardy can't do it. Tom Hardy sucks as Bane. Bane. Wayne Dark Knight Rises leave it as Venom. But yeah, she sucks as the character. I mean, Tom Hardy sucks as Venom. I think he's terrible. Uh, as Eddie Brock, he's annoying. His New York accent doesn't work for me. It's irritating to listen to. Venom is annoying in this film. Dancing, they just turn Venom into a joke. Carnage, you don't even see him kill enough. You see him kill, of course, but it's in a PG-13 way. Michelle Williams, I think she does all right in here. She is trying, and the actor who played her husband, Reed Scott, I guess his name was, who played Dane. He's trying. I kind of did like the scene where he tried to put Venom on fire. I'll admit that was funny. I mean, not Venom, Carnage. That was kind of cool. Stephen Graham, he was okay. He's trying. Woody Harrison, I just didn't like his cliche. I'm sorry. If it was another type of movie, it would have worked. But here, he's just very over the top, annoying, and making noises and having that crazy smile. Yes, people, he can play a good villain, but in here, it was not him. It was just the direction and the writing. They went with the movie. The music scores, yeah, they have a song or soundtrack rap song, I think, which I didn't care for. The cinematography is nice too. I like the cinematography of the movie. Cinematography is nice. The editing is alright, but I don't really care for the action much. When you see these two finally fight, like you want to see, it's just at the climax, and it's a lame climax. It's not that exciting. And the film is way too short. Now, I will admit, 97, I will say that it is a fast paced movie. It really feels like a fast paced movie. But Rocky 3, I was just thinking Rocky 3 with Sylvester Stallone and Mr. T, the third Rocky film. That's a fast paced movie, but that had a good story. You know, that had a really good story to it. And it worked. You know, it was a fast paced film, but it worked. Had a good story. And the boxing scenes, even the fight scene with Hulk Hogan, Thunder Lips, you know, versus the Ultimate Meatball, that was a lot of fun to watch. His fight with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T twice. That's a lot better to watch. At least Stallone gave us a good fight, with the Rocky movies, But this movie, yeah, when you see these two go at it, the fight at the end, it just is nothing special, And the story's not that good. The film is just way too short, goes by quick, and the story's not that interesting, and it's just a forgettable, lame excuse for a sequel. I'm so glad. I cannot wait to see Kraven the Hunter and be done with these movies. Kraven the Hunter felt longer and so boring, and the other movies they feel. I've seen Morbius. I got a feeling I'm not gonna like Madam Web. Yeah, but Morbius will be next after this. Not after this complete, but when I get to the year 2022, oh gosh, that's awful too. You know, but Venom Let There Be Carnage. My rating for this film. I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. And since I don't mind Michelle Williams, and at least her scene for trying to talk to Venom to getting back in Eddie's body, being hosted in his body, that was actually the way she was talking all meant. And it was kind of cool to see Carnage on screen, but I wish it was in a better movie. And Andy Serkis, he's trying, but I do feel like he was not given enough to do in this movie. Given much to work with. So yeah, so my rating for this film, I'm gonna give this film 1 out of 5 stars and thumbs down. So guys, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of Venom: Let There Be Carnage? If you like the sequel, cool. Please let know if you've seen it. If you like it, that's cool. But let me know what you think about this in the down below, guys. What do you think of the first Venom movie? And do you like the character better than the anime series, Spider-Man, the PlayStation One game? Yeah, there was a game on PlayStation One where Venom tries to get revenge on Peter Parker, uh, Spider-Man for ruining his career or getting him fired from the Daily Bugle, which was better done. Yeah, but at least to have Spider-Man there with Venom, it would make sense to have this character there. But if Sony would have waited, and these villains could get out their own movies, but no, they just wanted to rush these out there because Sony, I think, is so determined to make like still hanging up on Avengers Endgame wants to make that $2 billion. So that's why they come out with movies like this. But again, let me know, guys, what do you think of what do you think of the character of Carnage? If you've ever read the comics, I haven't, but do you like him in Spider-Man the anime series, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game? And what do you think of Carnage in this movie? What do you think of this movie as a whole, in your opinion? And what do you think of the third movie, Venom: The Last Dance? But that won't be reviewed till I get to the year 2024. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of Venom? Let There Be Carnage. Do you hate it as much as I do? Well, I can't really say I hate the movie, but I don't care for it. Just an awful sequel, in my opinion. Alright, guys, next review. This is another film that it's a DC film, though, a DC animated movie. Let's see if I can get it here on my phone really quick. So sorry. Sorry for the being a little sneezy here. Let's see. Oh, this is the 46th installment of the DC Universe animated original movies, starring the voice that's directed by Matt Peters and starring the voices of Justin Hartley and Aizen Mount. I can't say the name right. But it's based on the Injustice Gods Among Us video game, and I guess Injustice 2. And that, of course, is the 46th DC animated. God, 46th installment of the DC Universe animated original movies. That will be the next review, Injustice. I could say I was probably disappointed with this, but I'll get into why later. I'm not going to focus on that now, but Injustice will be next. Yeah. Yep. Which will be tomorrow. And then after Injustice, it'll be another Marvel movie, probably another Rant. That'll be the Eternals. And then my last review for the year 2021 will be this came out in this was October 19th, and Justice was, and I think like November 11th. November, but it was in November. Eternals came out. Eternals. The Eternals. And then in December of 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home. This will be my last 2021 review. I don't have Catwoman Hunted yet, but so far, like Catwoman Hunted will be the next review when I can buy on DVD. And then that was February. And then March, The Batman. Like I said, Andy Serkis plays Alfred in this movie. And then I'll just show you another one. That will be another SNN Sony Spider-Man Universe movie. The third movie, I should say, that will be starring Jared Leto. Morbius. Morbius should be after that. Yes. So expect another rant in this movie. But Morbius. So yeah, those will be the next reviews, guys. So I hope you stay tuned for those, and let me think of what you think of Venom of the Carnage down below. Again, my ranking for the film is 1 out of 5 stars, 1 out of 5 stars, and a thumbs down. Tell me what you think of it, and I hope you look forward to all these reviews. And stay tuned for the next review for the DC animated film Injustice. Injustice, which is next. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye bye.